Hello, and welcome back to Note by Note. This is Victor Perez. I'm very happy to be here again with you another week just to keep comping. Hello, everybody who is on the chat. You can subscribe if you want to type things on the chat. I promise I will keep an eye on that. Mostly if I forget to share my screen or something like that, just please type it. So welcome for another adventure of compositing. This is going to be a good one. But before I start, I just want to check with you guys that you can hear me. Everything is okay. So if you can hear me, just please write in the chat. First of all, as always, I would like to thank our sponsor, Foundry, for supporting me. Um, I have news, which is remember when I said like if we make the YouTube channel of Foundry to reach 100,000 subscribers. At that time, it was something like 86 or 89. I don't remember. 89,000, I guess. I said if we reach that, I'm just going to create a masterclass for machine learning in Nuke for copycats. It took five days. I never ever expected that. So thank you everybody for your support. You guys are really amazing because in 5 days we reached that, and the challenge was before a month. So yeah, it was even before a week. So I guess everybody is quite interested in copycats. Well, if you want to start digging into the copycat, Foundry released a series of videos, a masterclass for that, and it was presented by the creators, who is an amazing team. So yeah, you asked for that, and I'm going to deliver. Of course, I'm going to need a bit of time because I want to be very well prepared and to show you something that is meaningful. So for that, but yeah, it's going to be streamed, and it's going to be streamed either on my channel or on Foundries. I guess it's going to make more sense to do it on Foundries. But just stay tuned. In any case, I'm gonna do it in a way or another, in one place or another, but I'm gonna do it. First of all, because I really love it. And yeah, I think it's going to be a great one. So yeah, that is the first thing. As every week, Foundry is sponsoring this channel and is giving you a Nuke license. So who was the winner of last week? So the winner of last week was Jacob Stam, who gets a 1 year subscription to Nuke Indie, which is the software I'm using for this streaming. Yeah, Foundry will contact you in order to get your license. I see on the chat there is already a couple of winners from previous weeks. So yeah, congratulations to all of you. I hope you are enjoying the Nuke Indie. As I said, I'm feeling no difference with the Nuke X, which is like the full flagship of Foundry, the software, which is, I mean, Nuke X is amazing. It has plenty of things, but for freelancers, well, yeah, you can get more, but by the price, I think it's a very good deal. So as every week, we have a giveaway. So yeah, if you enter in the giveaway, I'm going to put it also on the chat, so you can participate. Yeah, is in here. So in there, you are going to participate to get the possibility to get a Nuke Indie license, okay, which is really cool. It's for free and 1 year. So yeah. More things. Let's do the house cleaning in here. If you want to support me, leaving aside the thing that you are already supporting me by being here, which is what I love the most, because this is why I'm doing this. But if you want to help me to continue doing this, the best way is maybe to buy me a coffee, which is in here, in this link in here. So you can buy me a coffee, and I will be very grateful. I'm very happy for that. And if you want to know more about what I do, it's the first time that you see me, or you want to get familiar, I'm going to put here on the chat all my links in Linktree, so you can just visit and get my content. There is content for free. There is my book. I mean, there are plenty of things in there. Or if you want to get in touch on LinkedIn or Instagram, whatever you name it, is going to be in there. Okay, so if you want to buy me a coffee, by the way, I'm just going to put also the link in the chat, so you can support me as well. So yeah, that is all. Remember that the giveaway for Nuke Indie is going to end at 8:30. So it's just available for the people on the live. Okay, so it's not going to be for the people that is watching this on demand after the live. Sorry, but if you want to participate this giveaway, you need to be on the live. Okay, so let's start. Okay, let's go to Nuke, and I'm going to show you the first thing we are going to do today, because we have new guests in here. Okay, which is, my friends, are Action VFX. I told you, and they were listening. So yeah, they are now supporting also this channel. They gave me access to the elements for our compositing. So today I would like to take our compositing into how to use elements in order to make it to look great. And trust me, the elements at Action VFX, and I'm not saying this because they are sponsoring or because they are supporting me, they are really the best. I mean, I was using Action VFX elements for many years, and I guess many people. So I'm sure you know them, and if you don't, please make sure you know them. So it's actionvfx.com. Just get an account. Getting the account is free, and you can just browse. There are sometimes they have promotions. They give like elements for free, so you can try the elements, and yeah, the price of the element is really good, because you get exactly what you need, and you have to choose it before you buy it. So it's perfect. So you don't have to buy, like, in the old days, that you get like a full package, and then if what you are looking for is in there and you're lucky, it's great, and if it's not, buy another package. So basically it was that the trend. So yeah, it's really cool. You have access to many things. I guess I mean, everything is going to be in there, but if not, you can even order them to shoot things for you. So they have this kind of service. Another thing that I would like to point out is, like, they have this new thing, which is practice footage. The practice footage is super cool. It's something that when I was a student, I was dreaming of having people to really know and have good gear, just to get like good green screens and good footage in order to test or even for creating your showreel. And you can create so many things. This reminds me, for some reason, to Mandalorian. No, it's not Mandalorian. It's Ahsoka, but also Mandalorian. I mean, we are in the same universe. But yeah, it's really good quality for doing your showreel. So if you are starting, I will highly recommend you to have a look at the footage. Use it. Is free, so it's really amazing that people in the industry is being generous enough just to contribute with the new generations. We have to take care of the new generations because we all have been there. So you are not alone. But on this episode, I'm going to take care of the 2D elements. Okay, so I'm just going, as always, I'm just going to show you how I just work. So remember, the rules of this streaming are really, really easy. I come, you watch. That's basically. And I'm going to, sometimes I'm going to talk, sometimes I'm going to talk too much. And if I'm talking too much, you can just just get in the chat and say, please comp and shut up. So I can do. I'm gladly, but I'm just very verbose. I just like people to understand what I'm doing and to follow my process of thought. That at the end, that is what I have to share as an artist. So I'm doing this streaming for you. I'm not keen on demonstrating how good I am because I'm just a regular compositor. I know my stuff as any other good compositor in there. So what I want is just to showcase what I can do just real time with no baking, no anything. So you know that I haven't prepared anything for this. It's just happily as I go. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's open Nuke. That, by the way, is asking me to open because it's a new version. We get the version 4 of the 15.0. Okay, so let's close this. As always, we go to the compositing configuration. Okay, this is a little setup that I have for a project that I'm working right now, and this is a template. So as you know, of course, I cannot enter on the details of this because it's a project that is ongoing on production, but as you can see, just by default, is loading templates, which is part of the pipeline. And everything that is in here on these nodes is just automatized just for working on the right nodes, on these kind of things that are just time consuming. It's very easy, very easy nodes that I created myself. Of course, as I said, maybe I'm just going to see if I can share something with you before the release, but that is something I cannot promise. So let's see how it goes. This is just to show you that, yeah, there are limitations on Nuke Indie, but it's just like, don't get obsessed with the limitations and enjoy what you can do with the software. Let's open our comp. Let's see. Here you are, scripts. Okay, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to save version 6, which is number 6 for today. Okay, last week, just to recap a bit, and also for me, because usually you spend 8 hours working in one day. We have been comping 7 hours and a half in 5 weeks, which is kind of strange because you break the flow, but I love that for the purpose of this, because that is going to give me the opportunity to showcase everything from every single benchmark and point. Okay, so just to be clear, the elements that are already placed in there, the fire with the smoke, that are the same element in 2 different points of time. They are just the elements provided with the renders that I got. I'm going to use more renders. So more elements just to make this rich. Okay, so let's have a look at what I have and let's see more or less an idea of what I'm going to need. I want to make this more apocalyptic. So I want way more smoke. Maybe not that much fire, because it's not, it's supposed to happen a while ago. So maybe there is like pipes of gas that are still leaking after a few days, or I don't know. But I guess it's going to be more related to the dust than the smoke. Let's just go ahead with that. So let's get to the elements. Okay, you have in here the popular, but in here you have like the collections. So we can see atmospherics. Okay, let's see what is in here. So interesting. I love dust particles that are always good, especially when you have like chiaroscuro, like rays of light in a dark room or something. This is looking really cool. In here, I don't think it's going to be a much opportunity to showcase this, but you know, cloud tanks is very cool. Clouds, some sort of smoke. This is like ground fog. No, I'm not going to use this. There is fire gum, smoke and fog. Let's see. Interesting. Large scale smoke plums, volume 2. Interesting. And you have quite plenty of them. I said I don't want fire, but I have to admit that I'm very tempted because the scale is really huge and I love it. It's looking great. But let's keep the main thing. Okay, so it's nice that also, you know, sometimes they give you like this element of a person, for instance, next to the element, so you understand the scale of the element. That is really important because you know that every element has a scale. So if you make a fire just with a transform to make it bigger, that is not going to make your element to look big. Because, you know, elements are going to play also with the speed, the density of the air, all of that gravity. So all of that needs to be at a scale, okay? So that is not going to be helpful I mean, it depends on what you need, okay? So atmospheric smoke, rising steams. Let's see if we have something large scale for smoke. Oh, here you are. Smoke plums. Let's have a look at this. Let's see what we have in here. Okay, that is the sound. I'm just going to turn down the sound. Okay. Here you are. Okay, so let's have a look at the single elements. What I think, this one, for instance, is good because it's not a clip. See? Of course, in the beginning, then it's going just to, at a certain point, it's just going to be out of the frame. That is always a problem. Of course, you can just soft a bit and stuff. So let's select a few of them. This one. I like this one. So interesting. I just got a free one. Good. By the way, you can download a preview. So you can play with the preview. It's just going to have this watermark, but you can play and it's quite cool. So let's add to the car. License before, okay, individual. So this is the different tires, okay? I just need for one person, which is just me. I'm not going to download the preview. I'm just going to add it to the car. Here you are. That is my first element. So we are now shopping for elements. I love it. I have to say that I love it. Okay. Let's see if there are other categories that we can apply. I mean, of course, we can get way more. I'm very tempted by this. Let's get this. So which elements do I need from this? Oh, this is really cool because this is starting from them very, very small. So it's going to give me a lot of elements in a lot of time. I mean, if you use different times, you can just get like different portions of the element. These have two different resolutions. You have the 2K and the 4K. So the price for the 2K is $99 or $199. Or if you have like a subscription program, like the Action VFX Plus, you can have like in your package. Okay, that is something that maybe I'm going to tell you next week. Today I want to focus on this. By the way, it's also giving you information about the frame rate, which is really cool, 30 frames per second, and the format, which is ProRes 444, which is no compression, and OpenEXR. That is really, I mean, the ProRes would not be like the no compression at all, which is much better to use the OpenEXR, but it's really, really cool. Also, it's telling me that there is alpha channeling here, so that is very convenient. So yeah, definitely, I'm just going to get this. 4K. Do I need 4K? This is another thing. We are so obsessed with resolutions that most of the times is just a waste of resources. So first of all, it's going to be cheaper if I get it at 2K. Do I need this element to be close to my camera? If it's close to my camera and we are shooting in 4K, well, maybe it makes sense. But let's have a look at the resolution of my project, which is 2K scope. Okay, so do I need the 4K? Absolutely not. So don't get obsessed. It's the same question of the limitations of Nuke Indie. No, just get exactly what you need. And especially with elements, if you have several elements in your composition, and if you use like super big elements, OpenEXR and all of that, you're just overkilling your render. So try to use whatever you need, not more than you need. Remember that time is important. And here, of course, I am just talking to you and I'm super happy, but just be mindful of what you need. So I'm just going to select 2K, okay? And I'm going to get this one. Okay, good. Let's select another one. I'm going to get, I like this. I like how it diffused. More or less, they are quite, I mean, they are not much difference, unless you need like a certain position or something. Oh, this is, look. So, okay, so what I got in here is like the whole collection. Sorry, I was, sorry. It's not one element 99. It's the whole collection of Smoke Plums Volume 1 is the whole collection at 99, which is even better. Okay, so if you want to get the single elements, it's just $19. Okay, so yeah, this is the deal. So I don't need to get more elements because I got the whole collection. It's really cool. So let's go back. Let's see small elements. Do I need the small elements? Do I need fire elements? No. Let's try, no, I don't need that. This is coming to the ground fog. I'm intrigued by this, but would be, no, I cannot use the ground fog. Haze and light fog. Let's have a look at this. I like that. Maybe it's going to give me a bit of environment in here. Environment fog. See the preview? I'm just reading in the comments that Laszlo said that Nuke non-commercial has also full HD resolution, but one can just render the picture in a few sections, just crop nodes to put them together later for high resolution, so useless limitation. Well, it's a lot of work if you are going to work a lot, but the point is like, you should not use the non-commercial Nuke for commercial purposes. So the resolution, yeah, why not? Those are the rules. So if you can break the rules and you are happy just rendering in 4 chunks and then piecing them together, the thing is like, how are you going to piece them together? Because you don't have Nuke for that. So are you going to use another software for? It's just super complicated. Nuking is going to be a much easier thing. Of course, yeah. Indie has also the resolution cap of 4K. But do you guys need more than 4K? Because a computer for more than 4K is going to be like a big beast. So if you have the money to get that beast to play 8K, for instance, I don't think Nuke X is going to be a problem for you, honestly. But anyway, I know guys at Foundry are always reviewing their policies for the limitations because the industry is evolving. So I'm sure they are going to have a look into that. Anyway, let's continue. Oh yeah, it's a funny. Laszlo said, "Oh yeah, it's a funny workaround." Yeah, if you need a life, Laszlo, please. Oh come on, I'm joking. So let's add also the haze and light fog. For this, I'm just going to get the 4K. Why? Because maybe I'm going to use several layers of elements, and maybe I'm just going to get very close to some of them. So I just want to make sure that I have enough room. Okay, so in this case, it makes sense that I need more resolution than placing the element in the back. So I'm going to get this. What else? I think we are kind of served already. There is way more than I need. But just for the sake of having a look at what we have in here, because it's really cool. So you have different elements, bursts. I don't think we need to destroy the image more than I have already destroyed. And see the charges. Can you see the scale, the reference scale of the human? That is super cool. That is really cool. So you understand what is the scale that you need to get in that. So sparks, textures. Let's have a look at the textures. Blood. This is super cool. This is blood for for fabrics. And planets. Why not? It's always good to have planets. Different burns. Oh, sooner or later, everybody in their careers have done one of these, which is super cool. So when a point of view shot of someone aiming with a sniper or something like that. Okay, super cool. Animated textures, variety packs. Also, you have like pre-made things like sorcerers for magic effects, like the started, which is going to be like, of course, everybody loves explosions and rays. So yeah, building on fire. That is also like a recurrent thing. So it's really cool. And guns and weapons I don't have. Oh, look, free VFX. So everything that is in here, in this section, is for free. Which is, come on, it's really cool. As I said before. Yeah, you can use this for when you are shooting the shells and yeah, interesting. And you have like quite a few of them. Yeah, different textures. Nice. So I think this is good enough for what we need right now. There is fire. Okay. If you want to know more, just go ahead, open your account, and then just get whatever you need for your comps. This is going to save you plenty of time. So yeah, let's get these elements. So this is my cart. So of course, for obvious reasons, I'm not going to check out in. I'm going to buy it right now, but I'm not going to check out in front of you. So you are going to see my beautiful face, okay? Or if you want, you can see my screen. And maybe this is a very good opportunity to show you that you can subscribe. So have a look at that. And I'm going to check out in here. Yeah. Okay. I place my order. Great. Go to downloads. Here you go. Those are my downloads. So I have these things. Okay, let's start by the smoke plums. Okay. This one was for free. 2K. Downloading. Great. And let's go to the others. As you can see, it took me a minute just to get the elements. Am I going to download them all? Of course. Let's see, it's going to take a while, but in the meantime, I have one element, so I can start laying out my comp. So should I download more in the meantime, just to add more meat to the fire? Or is this going to be risky? It's going to be risky. But who cares? We are here for the risk. So 6K. Let's have a look at the 6K. So you have a didn't like that. Maybe I'm already downloading a lot. This one. Yeah. Very good. We are now downloading. Yeah. I have one in here. And in the meantime, that is downloading. I'm going to put it over here. And I'm just going to bring this in here. Okay. One element. So, I think you have the time to see the subscribe this time, okay? So, let's play with this element. First of all, this element is a quick time. It comes without any alpha. Maybe is a good time to talk about color management. You know that I love color management, and if you don't know, I can tell you that I have a book on color management. The name is the Color Handbook for Visual Effects Artists. So you can, in there, you are going to see plenty of things relating to color for VFX. Something that you should know is how to import a QuickTime inside Nuke. A QuickTime, usually, if you are getting materials from editorial or something like, the usual Rec 709, how do you import that? Because many people is complaining like, oh, well, we have different flavors of Rec 709 inside ACES. So what should be the workflow for that? I'm going to tell you how I do it, because the Rec 709 is a display refer color space. So if you just treat in here with the input transforms that you have in the ACES, and using ACES 1.3, the studio config in Nuke, using OpenColor.io 2.1. In here, you don't have the display transforms in the input transform. So how can I apply a display transform? And why do I need a display transform? Well, it's because this has been encoded with a display color space. Why? Because it's a QuickTime, so QuickTimes usually are made for displays. So how do I interpret that? There is the Gamma 2.2, that is the Rec 709 for textures. Then there is like another other flavors of Rec 709. I'm going to show you here. Here you are. So you have like AP1 for the primaries of ACCG, for instance, the same, but using the gamma 2.2, the texture, the gamma 2.4. So what is the best one for this? So the way I do it is I don't apply the input transform in here because, as I said, those are color space for a scene refer, and I need instead of scene refer, I need a display refer for this to get into the linearization. You know, the typical thing. If you want to know more about all the process of IDT, ODT, and all of that, just have a look at the book. The Color Management Handbook for Visual Effects Artists. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on whatever is you are going to find it. Just search for it. And so let's think here. I'm just going to leave the default, that is the gamma 2.2 blah blah blah, and I'm just going to go with the raw. So with the raw, I'm not applying any transformation in here. So this is just reading the data. So the transformation that I need is a display transform. So for that, I'm going to here to the color, here you are, and I'm going to the display, Open Color IO display, OCO display. Okay, so in here, I'm just going to establish what is the display that I want, and I'm going to use this one. Okay, the 1886 Rec 709, which is going to be the curve that is describing exactly what I need in here. Okay, so now I'm going to invert the direction in order to get from this display that is the original display intent into the ACES CG. So I'm just inverting the order. So it's going from this color space into the ACCG, which is, as you know, the linear color space of Nuke when you are working in ACES. So what you see right now on the screen is like the right linearized, as it's supposed to be, color space for that. Let me show you the difference, okay? There are differences. Okay, let's face it, maybe for this smoke is not going to be that evident that the colors are going to be truthful, because mostly this is black and white. But if you have like images in here, yeah, you can use this workflow. Okay, so this is the way of getting the right one. So I'm going to use this because it's the right way to go. Okay. Of course, it's not doing anything special. It's just applying a color transformation the same way you are applying a color transformation in the input transform. Okay, so it's just I'm doing outside the node. Maybe in the next version of Nuke, this is going to be embed, I guess, because it's something quite obvious. But remember, Nuke is growing with the industry, so it depends on what we need and depends on the evolution of ACID itself. So it's really, really cool. So let's have a look at how and where, most importantly, I'm going to put my elements. So we have in here a few elements that I was placing. Let me see, yeah, this element that I put with my time offset. So I'm just going to apply in here. Let me just make more room. Space in Nuke is free, so let's use as much as we need. So now I don't need to apply the the relight or anything else. I'm just going with the classic axis and transform. I like to use the axis because it's then easier if by any chance I want to do something special, something in particular with the position. I'm going to have always pointing out the position of this with the axis. Okay. In this case, we have the light. Of course, I'm not going to apply any any light to the to the smoke because it will make no sense. And now let's play with the card. I'm going to put this in here. How are you guys doing on the chat? Anything interesting? Did you know about how to convert QuickTimes into the ACES workflow? Just put it in the comments if you're watching this, or if you have something to share about that, or to show me how you use it, because as I said, this is how I do it. It doesn't mean that is the only way to do things in Nuke, but this is how I manage that. So I'm going to put, yeah, maybe I went a bit too far this time with the position. It's true that it's free, but yeah, I'm just going to, my Wacom is going to be, wear off after this. So let's see the element. Here you are. Surprise, surprise, it has no alpha. So how do we process that? I'm going to show you a few ways, because this is the fun of working with elements. Let me show how I can just extract this, because there are several ways of doing this. All of them can be, in principle, can be good. So, first of all, I'm just going to normalize this white that is just killing me. It's too white. So I'm going to grade white point. This is now value 1. And now I can play with that. Okay, so this is just going to help me to place the density that I need. Of course, I can play also with the black point. So I can, if you want just to get this completely normalized, see, you can just make sure you can pitch the darkest spot in there. But there is another way of doing this, which is way more fun. I'm going to tap in here, split, because that is why you are here for. You want me to use my way. So I'm going to use the pixel analyzer for that, which is a super cool tool that I use a lot. And I'm going to use the full frame. And I'm going to click the minimum. So this is going to get to analyze the whole frame. Oh, I was still sampling in there. Sorry about that. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it was already there. So what I'm going to do is with this, with the full frame, is just going to analyze the whole image, and it's going to the pixel with the lowest what? Luminance, okay? The L, luminance, luma. So with this, the pixel with the minimum luminance is going to be a pixel that has this value. So if I bring this to the black point, it's going to be perfectly normalized. Okay, now you can just play with this, okay? Without risking to kill anything. Okay, if you put it like that, see, there is a pixel in there somewhere that is going to be value 0, okay? So right now it's going to be like practically 0, so it's because of the normalization that I have in here, but with this you can play with that. This is something very, very interesting. Another thing is, like, once your image has been normalized, another thing you can do is just to play with the role of contrast. Role of contrast is going to lock value 0 and value 1, and it's just going to play with the contrast. But also, you have the opportunity, even if it sounds like super crazy to go that, you have the opportunity to use the soft clips. So you can increase contrast, but you can decide what is the anchor point. So I can just go to the center, so it's going to stretch more the dark values, the core. And then you have like a different level of density in there. So this is with the role of contrast. So by playing a bit with the gamma and the role of contrast, you can really have a very good, precise density of what you are expecting from your element. Okay, so this is a way. Of course, right now the edges are super compressed. Maybe this is not what I want, but this is just an excuse for me to show you things. Okay. Black clam, white clam, I want to make sure I'm not getting values above or below value 1 and value 0. So that's why I'm going to clam. So I'm practically using this as a mat. Okay? So once I have a mat, I know that I can multiply this times something. So what if I convert this itself in a mat? So to do that, I can see that this is black against white. So, and just to make complete sure that this is black against white, if you are unsure, I mean, I can see the values in here and they are all the same. But if you have any doubt or something is not turning as it should, just use saturation. And let's bring this down. Okay, right now it's doing nothing. It's just for a placeholder for me. And now I'm just going to invert. Why? Well, it's because what I want is this. I want a matte. And now I'm going to make the color of my smoke. What is the color of my smoke? Well, there are different ways of doing this. You can go with for instance, a constant. And the only thing is like you need to remember what is the resolution of this. So it's 2K DCP. So 2K DCP, here you are. And now I'm going to make the color of my smoke. So let's put the color of my smoke like this. I know it's very radioactive, so maybe I'm just going to make it. See that now it's getting a lot of color in here. Let's preserve the color, same hue, but with a darker shade. So that is the difference between playing with the intensity and with the value. The value is going to lock hue and saturation, and it's just going to go brighter color or darker color. With this, is locking temperature and magenta. So let's put it like that. Now I'm going to grab with this, that. Oh, it's missing a channel, of course, because there is no alpha channel in here, and by default this is asking for an alpha. So I'm going to the red channel. Nice. This has an alpha. Now, remote. And now with this element, maybe you feel like it's super grown and we need to fix it, or okay, maybe it's time to put it into the stream. Just going hypothetically to fix something is just going to be a waste of time. Even maybe it's going to look amazing in here, and then you put it in the comp and it's going to look very bad. So instead of doing that, just directly go to the comp, and then we see what needs to be done to that element. Okay, so I'm going to place this in here. Let's see where that element is in the 3D space. You know what? I'm going to use a different scene just because the other scene has the lights. So I'm going to remove that, and I'm just going to use a different scene. So I have the light elements and not to be mixed. So because the other is also relying on relight and all of that, so I don't want to do that. So here, my camera is in here. Okay, reformat. Yeah, here you are. Let's see where those elements are going to be placed, which is going to be around there. Here. Okay. I'm going to visualize the end. And I'm going to put this in here. Oh, wow. Amazing. So this is what I meant. Right now, this element that before was looking like super orange and very bright is practically black. So that is not exactly what we need. So now maybe let's put the element in place, and then we can talk about where is the right color of that. So I'm just going to put it, there was a preview in here. Here you are, the preview. And I'm going to add to this preview this new element. This one, yeah. And let's move the axis. And I just want to make sure the card is going to be aligned. Maybe that is right in there. Okay, the problem of this scene is like you have the lights from the other, so I'm going to put this in here because I want the axis to be the origin. And here you are. That is good enough. So okay, now we can, oops, I was playing with the axis. Okay, so now this is going to move the card. Yeah. Okay, let's put this somewhere. Whereabouts? Let's put it in a big one. Because this, remember, is a large element. So and as you can see, the element now is so small. Okay. So let's make it bigger. Of course, to see this the right way, maybe I should have a look at the final. See? maybe it's doing nothing. It's so poorly decided. So yeah, in 3D it makes sense. I mean, of course, I mean here once it's moving, it's going to make more sense. But it's not even helping. It's just always there on top. So no, I'm not going to decide to be there. Let's go to another place. Where is the antenna? I can see there is an antenna from let me see, where is the antenna in here? There. That element in here. So that chunk. Okay. That little chunk in there, I think is going to be much better. So here and here. By the way, in the meantime that I'm placing this, that is going to be a bit of time consuming. Just me watching me putting this align. I can tell you that I'm going to have in the coming sessions, I'm going to have more insights in the industry. I'm going to have been contacting other software companies for things and technology partners, things that can help you with workflows and things. So stay tuned because things are going to get really interesting. It's all related to how to work with Nuke at the end of the day, but there is a set of tools that I'm going to show you that is really, really, really cool. I cannot say anything right now, but yes, I can tell you you're gonna love it, I'm sure. So let's have a look at this now. Yeah, yeah, this is more like it. Yeah, maybe the element is now being cropped. Yeah, by the car. So maybe we can just you know what? I'm going to do something because if you want to make a scale really, really big, maybe you don't need to have something moving because at the end of the day, this shot is just lasting for 400 frames, so it's not that long. It's less than a minute. So in 1 minute, sometimes when a scale, I mean, with a plume of smoke is really, really big, when you see like a fire that is far in the city or something like that, it seems like it's not moving. So yeah, let's not moving. Let's not move that element. So I'm going to frame hold this frame. Yeah. So that is just going to prevent me to have my element cropping there. Great. Let's move in here. Look, it's looking gorgeous. Now, the problem is that the element is now in front of the things that shouldn't be. So can I put this element in another place? Well, there are different elements that we have been playing around in here, so I don't know how safe is going to be that. So instead, what I will propose is like to crop this. So to use this mat in order to crop things that are on top. So in here is going to be this one without the smoke. So I'm going to place that. Making here. I just want to make sure I don't have things on top. Yeah, something like this. So I'm going to stencil things in here. I know it's not beautiful to have crosses, I mean arrows crossing in front and behind, but you know, is what it is. And right now it needs to make sense. Then there is time for feng shui of, of scripts. It's important that it makes sense. Okay, so here you are. Now let's have a look at the final thing with the background. Yeah, now it is time to start playing with this. So the stencil, the problem that we have in here is like there are elements that are using, you know, the focus and other elements that are on top and softenings and elements. So what can we do? So right now, what I should do is just to play dirt and quick, just to find a way of structuring that without killing. So is this the right way? Well, I'm bleeding into the elements. Should I go with this other? I don't know, because again, this is just using the scattering of light through the particles of the sky. But this, in this case, I'm just holding out an element in here. So maybe it could be wiser not to scatter that. Okay, so I'm just going to go with this. Something that happens sometimes is like you are going to have, like in here, this kind of elements, see, is leaving this this mark in here. So how can we solve that? Well, it depends on how the holdout is done. But in here, something that I'm going to try to solve the problem of the overlaying edges is to go this join over. So those are disjoint because they are not covering the whole area. So I'm just going to disjoint that. So, I mean, to try to conjoin the disjoint over. So with this, okay. So with this, it's going to give me a better integration of those edges. Right now, the problem is the other edges. So see, it's fixing this, but it's just the color is wrong. So everything is going to look a bit funky because you cannot have something that is this clear in density in front of something that is so dark. So the density is going to act just adding. Remember when we were talking about atmospherics and all of that. So what we are going to do is let's deal now with the color. So now is the moment of playing with this. So now is when we can play mainly with that. And just by playing a bit with this, first of all, I found the sweet spot for the density, so the gamma that I needed. Then the other is going to be the color. So for the color, of course, you can put a grade, but it would be quite silly if you had like the full control of the color in here. So maybe something that is going to help is just to reduce. And now, see that is changing. The colors in here are just rising, so that's why. The problem that I have with this kind of saturation is like it's using, of course, is rising all the values in order to meet the highest value, that is the red in here. So maybe if I don't want to modify that, maybe I can play with other kind of saturations. And this is just me for the to play. Saturation. And I'm just going to show you there are different ways. See? This is not playing with the luminance because the Rec 709 is just going to maintain the luminance of the aspect of the luminance in here. Okay, so I can just put there. And all the color that you are getting is the color of the overall. So now it's making sense with the rest. But not that much, because this has still a bit of color. So what should be the color in here? Something like that. See? Now the problem is like I'm losing a bit of the of the building. So everything is covered by the smoke. So can we play a bit with that? Yeah, there are different ways of playing with this. I'm going to use the role of contrast to deal with the I don't want to say transparency because it's not exactly transparency, but it's the way that I'm distributing the density of that feathering edge. So I'm going to place the center point in the values that I don't want to touch. So center at 1 means that everything is going to be stretched from value 1, that is going to be the center of transformation of the color, into the other. So I'm just going to change more the aspect of the dark area. So you are going to see, and because the soft clip is on at the maximum, you are going to notice a lot in the density of the dark areas. So it's going to become less dense in the super dense areas. You're going to see. Like that. As you can see, the edges in there, I'm just going to focus in this area. The edges are changing, of course, because everything is changing, but this area is going to change way more. See? And you are going to recover a bit of that detail. So this is what I mean. So now, yeah, we have previously we had problems with the edges in there. But are they noticeable right now? Well, it's not that noticeable because now the overlap has been compensated by the amount of density that we have in there. So again, don't fix it if it's not broken. That is a very good philosophy. So let's put something in here. Let's see how it goes. The scale of that smoke is beautiful. It's huge. Can you feel like the smoke is as big as the building. Now, something now artistically, this is going to be a very silly one, but think about this. You have this smoke that is going to the right, and this one that is bigger that has less wind. So what's going on? The wind is only hitting in here in the front and no wind in the back. That will make no sense. So we need to find a way of bending that. There are different ways, but I'm just going to start using the easiest. I'm not going to start spline warping or anything like that. It's just, let's rotate. So what is the axis that I need to rotate? It's the one that is pointing to the camera, so I guess it's going to be this one. Is this the axis of this, first of all? Yeah. So it depends on how it's oriented, but I think is this one. Rotate. Of course, because this is just for the movement in here. So I'm just going to move the card. So, yeah. Of course, if you make it like this, it's going to look quite ridiculous, okay? But let's try to save it, okay? Let's try to use it like that. What can we do to help this smoke to get better, just to get this shape? So I need to create some sort of, wind is actually getting higher speeds when it's far from the ground for obvious reasons. But so it needs to create a shape that is going to bend a bit, okay? So let's just go in here and play a bit with now the right spline warp. By the way, everything looks like black, but actually there is information in there. Okay, so that's why I said don't fix it before, just go to the final. I'm going to play a bit with this in this height. So spline warp. I'm just going to use one side and I'm going to play with this. Okay. So what I need is just to move this cone a bit there. So I'm going to duplicate in A and join. And I'm going to lock this one and play with the other one. Yeah, it's a bit strange. Maybe I need a bit more density in there. Yeah, I'm going to be less lazy. I was a bit too much. We can even play with this and just play with that, but yeah, it's a bit over the top. Yeah. See what I mean is like it's going to look very distorted. Well, yeah, maybe. Well, let's try. Why not? Jeez, this is looking like the tornado from the Wizard of Oz. I shouldn't move that point because that is the anchor. I'm just going to try it less dramatic. So let's have a look at the end. Yeah, it's perfect. Thank you very much. It has been a pleasure. And I see you next week. Now it's showing everything. So yeah, this is the kind of curve that I meant. Of course, it's super, super exaggerated right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to fix it. It was a bit too much. So let's remove a bit of points and let's just go effortless. When I have these kind of things that I don't know how to fix things, it's just let's start over. So first thing, when you are playing with the pins, just try to put a pin first of all in the areas you don't want to move. So I don't want to move that, and I don't want to move this. So I just want to interfere a bit in there. So I'm just going to play with this and this. So those are going to be the anchor points. Why? Because I don't want to modify the weight. I just going to move to slightly massage the elements. Okay, so I'm just going to play with those two. This and this, this and this. Man, just going to play with that to compensate. Okay. By the way, I know there are many people from Spain following this stream. I'm from Spain, very proud of it. So, hola a todos. Muchas gracias por el esfuerzo que estáis haciendo de leer tantos subtítulos. Y os escucho. I just said that I'm appreciating the effort that everybody's doing from Spain. That is not very handy with the English. Just following this stream, mostly reading the subtitles, which is very challenging. So I'm very appreciative of all of you. Thank you very much. So yeah, I think this is good enough for the shape that I wanted. Can I add more things in order to make this element more interesting? Well, right now I think it's going to be enough. Next week maybe I'm just going to add God rays and things to make it interesting. But I would like to show you something that I think is going to make the difference in when we are using this kind of technique. Right now, remember that, just to recap, is I'm using an element without an alpha, and I'm just using a flat color for the element. So it's not having like different characteristics of texture, I will say. So it's just like a flat element. So what I'm going to do now is try to give some volume to the. So let me show you how to play with the volume on that. By the way, if you want to know more about what I'm doing, you can follow my masterclass, which is a full explanation of the behavior of light. So remember, you have a 50% discount code by using node by node at the checkout, and you are going to have 50%, as I said. And if you want a more personal touch, so you want me and you together in a session online just for us, and I can work on, I can help you work on your shots or define anything you need. Maybe you can get a one-on-one session, private, on demand. I can sign NDAs so I can see your work. And yeah, with that, I can just dedicate to whatever you need. Okay, so those are two ways of getting to work with me, or to collaborate, or to help you improve whatever you want. I'm going to put the discount code for the masterclass in there. So if you want, just be my guest. I was saying, like, let's add volume to this, and it's a technique that is very cool. Sometimes it works, sometimes depends on how far you can expose with that. So I'm going to apply that, of course, after the transformation, and I'm going to fake volume. So to fake volume, I'm just going to imitate something, and just need to generate some sort of God rays in there. So let's apply the alpha, and I'm just going to separate this as a separate flow. So I'm going to use a shuffle, and this is a technique I learned many years ago at Cinesite with a compositing supervisor with Save Jackson, an amazing compositing supervisor, now visual effects supervisor. I love him. I learned so much from him. So I say hello from here, safe. I don't think he's watching. He's too good for me. I just have things to learn from him. So it's my token of appreciation to the people that has contributed to make me who I am today. So Safe told me this once when we were working on John Carter of Mars, I think it was John Carter. Yeah, it was something that I was really cool. I used many times after that. So I'm just going to get the alpha on all RGB just to make things clear, so I can play with the RGB in there. And now I'm going to use volume rays, and you're going to see what I'm up to. I'm just going to put this in the position that is supposed to be the sun. Of course, I'm going to remove the radial fall off. I'm going to put this at the very high in order to avoid stepping. And what I want to create is a matte in order to create some sort of dynamic interaction with the edges of one side of the smoke. But as you can see, they are uneven because it's a smoke. So let's make this far enough in order to capture a bit more, and I'm going to reduce the length. Something like this. I don't want the flickering. I just want this, see? And what I need is just the other way around. I want the light to bleed into the shape. So for doing that, instead of applying over the alpha, I'm just going to put invert. Okay. I'm going to reduce this now because it's going to be tricky to see. But no worries, because we are going to play now with the densities. I'm going to put in here something like 5. And now we need to play with the densities. You can even apply this on a separate stream if you want to go to the source. Just in here, for the sake of using less nodes, I'm just going to deal with that directly in here with the gamma. Gamma multiply, go really far. So this, or actually, let's play with the role of contrast. Role of contrast. So let's increase the contrast. See? It's going to depend on where you want the contrast to be. So I'm going to put it around there. You can even play with that. Again, we are going to see this later. Every time you are playing with an intermediate element like this, that is going to be a matte for relighting, just go to the element at the end and watch what you need instead of trying to make this to be logical. Right now, of course, this is looking like everything's too white, so it's going to paint a lot. Who cares? Right now, I just want to create the element, the template of the technique. Sometimes you can even create the technique and place it in a tool in there. Okay, in here I'm not going to bother to do that, but yeah, you can. This is a pre-multiplied element at this stage, so I'm going to make sure I'm playing with the pre-multiplied area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add multiply, and let's play with this. Of course, it's using the only channel that is not applying this, which is the alpha. So I'm going to apply the red, for instance. In here. Skip. Of course, sorry, I was applying in the wrong direction. Okay. Let's remove now this. Okay, now, here you are, what I wanted to show you. Now, once we are there, we can play with these controls. See? And right now it's going to look wrong for sure, because I'm just exaggerating in order to see what's going on. But let's have a look at the end, because this is going to be really, really cool. Yeah, that is the effect. And as I said, wow, now is really wrong, but wait and see. This is one element. See? With this I can even go a bit of light grab over the clouds. And then in here, let's play with the element. And you can even play with the volume gamma, that is just going to retract or expand. And in this case, can be really cool to expand a bit and reduce the length. So, something like that. Now you can play with other elements like the blur. So it's just going to, see, break a bit of the density, but it depends. If you want to lose a bit of the area, yeah, it can be interesting. If not, just play less with the gamma. So now let's remove that. Play with the gamma to expand. This is just going to make my edge very, very hard. Something like that. I don't need to tell you that this is something you can do in 2 stages. And I'm just going to demonstrate right before finishing and grabbing things for today. And I'm going to show you the second one. So I'm going to make a big one. See? And this one, I'm going to blur it a bit. Because I don't want to be that defined on both of them, because it's going to look too procedural. And now, something that is interesting is when I'm doing these kind of elements that I want to get like the same level of intensity, is the same light duplicated. So I'm just adding more light on top. Sometimes I like to do this just in order to avoid to be double controlling things, just one and another. It's just cloning. So if I want more or less, I just play with one control. So one knob to rule them all. Yeah, here you are. And with this, I'm going to play a bit more. Now it's fine tuning. So have a look at this element now. Leaving aside the base color that now maybe requires a bit, I'm just going to put slightly darker, just to compensate a bit for the amount of light that I give it. But have a look at the difference with and without the relighting. Flat, light, flat, light. Of course, again, this is a lot of relighting that I'm doing in here because I just want to showcase the technique. Once you have like the right amount, it's just play with the amount of intensity that you want to place in there. Something like this would be like a good amount. This is going to add volume. So your element is not going to look flat. This technique is especially effective when you are laying out different elements one on top of the other. So when you have, you will see, because this is what we are going to continue doing next week. As soon as I put 2-3 elements that are with the same technique, you're going to see that everything is going to have, instead of a feeling of more smoke, it's going to have less smoke. Why? Because you are losing the texture, because you are adding one color over the same color, and we don't have texture of colors in there. So that's why by adding this technique, you are ensuring that you are getting a lot of volume to recreate. So you are going to see the color of the smoke. You are going to see very clear where an element is going to end and where the other is going to continue. And if you, this would be like my assignment of the week. If you have a look at the clouds, you will see that clouds have like a dark edge and a bright edge. And it depends also on the light bouncing on other clouds. So it depends on the position of the clouds. And of course, depending on the density of the clouds, that is just going to have more scattering, more absorption, of less absorption. I found fascinating understanding how clouds work. That is going to give you a lot of understanding on how light is going to behave in the atmosphere. I was very lucky. I'm a trained pilot, so I have studied meteorology, clouds, especially clouds, and you understand, when you understand the dynamics of fog, clouds, densities, that is going to give you a very sweet understanding on how light is going to behave through there. And understanding that is key for developing, for instance, elements and the behavior of light through elements. So I will say that for today, we are going to leave it here. I believe this is going to be a good starting for laying out the elements. And now that we have this, I can easily copy and paste this technique for other elements. We are going to see the elements that are downloaded, but by the way, they finished download a while ago. And yeah, so that's all for this week. And remember what we have done, again, because we are doing a recap every time. We have been playing with the action VFX elements, so you know how to get your good elements in there. I just placed one element. I made an extraction. I even showcased how to interpret Rec 709 in an ASYS workflow. Then I have been showcasing the role of contrast for for playing with the alpha and the densities, playing how to lay out, how to place things in there, holding because of the scale, warping because of the speed of the wind, and placing that and holding out. We review also the disjoint over, something that you don't have much opportunity to see the disjoint or conjoint over, depending on what you have. So yeah, that's all for this week. I hope you really enjoyed. Thank you once again for your support. If you like it, please consider subscribing. If you didn't, if you want and you like, maybe just get me a coffee. That will make me very, very happy. I just put a link in the chat. So that's all. Thanks. If you have like more suggestions of things that you want, just you can reach out any of my social media that I'm going to put again in the chat, and remember that you can just get in there. Okay, so that's all. Yeah. Remember that next week I'm just going to show who was the lucky winner of the Nuke Indie license, so stay tuned. We are going to have more surprises, and this is building up, and I'm so thankful for all of you that are supporting this crazy adventure of me just comping. Yeah, so I hope to see you next week as usual at 7 GMT every Tuesday here with Victor Perez in Node by Node. Okay, take care. Have a great week. Bye.